Welcome back, you bunch of motherfuckers, to Charles Plays HEXEN. Charles in the house. In the previous episode, we colonized the shit out of Castle Darkmere, but came across 2 locked doors. We also claimed our 3rd weapon, the Hammer of Retribution, which we are just over 40,000 score away from claiming the 2nd Arifak awesome attack for it. However, I did neglect to show this. There is a monster closet here with a bunch of afrits inside, and sometimes a mystic urn is your reward for clearing the bitch out. It's something like 5 or 6 afrits, so let's introduce them to the business end of our crossbow. What was my health sitting at? I totally spaced out when I hit record. 1 bottle of grape drink ought to do it. Better use another just to be on the safe side.
Don't waste my time.
I ain't a part of your system. I see there is no mystic urn for us today, meaning my reward was a small amount of score and minus 2 bottles of grape drink. That kind of crappy, all things considered. But I digress. I've shown the monster closet, so it is now time for us to make our way to the next area. We have 2 real options here, heading through the outer hypostyle and into the caves of Circe for the cave key, or making our way to the wastelands for the horn key. And this way leads to the wastelands. Both options are about as efficient as each other, but I personally prefer going to the wastelands first, since if you leave the caves of Circe for last, one of the exits will place you within pissing distance of the inner hypostyle entrance. At any rate, we will need to visit both of those levels 2 times to make effective use of the chapter's keys. So without further ado, let's work our way around this narrow cliff face. The wastelands await us. It's a very long drop and the area is infested with afrits, so be fucking careful out here. When you reach this spot, wait a moment for a dumb shit afrit to fly over the wall and kick his ass.
This will please me.
Or stomp it. Whatever floats your boat. We have a jumping puzzle here, but the fighter's run speed is high enough that you can simply charge across without falling. I will do the jumps anyway. What's up, Mr. Free Hill? HEXEN logic at its finest. The switch over here will lower that wall the afrit flew over, leading to the wastelands portal. There is also a chaos device here, and we will not need it in this chapter whatsoever. But that's fine. It's not like the Wings of Wrath, where you cannot take it between chapters. In fact, there is another chaos device in the chapter. But enough about that. The wastelands can now be accessed. First, let's clear out this group of enemies, because they are guarding quite a lot of goodies and I want them. If you need space to fight the centaurs, feel free to use the cliff face. Just watch your fucking step, or terminal velocity will do a John Romero and make you its bitch. All clear, motherfuckers. The cache of goodies is now ours. A bunch of grape drink, both kinds of mana, and even some combined mana. This is one of those times that HEXEN will offer you clemency. We will leave the remaining mana right where it is. We will no doubt need that shit later. This portal will take us to the wastelands, so what are we waiting for? Welcome to the wastelands. I will be honest, this level is a total shithole, and the game knows it, because even the ground is pissed off about it. As you will see, a combined mana sits behind the portal, but we don't need it just yet. As you make your way into the level, brown serpents will make their appearance. You might remember these fuckers. We were first introduced to them in the Bright Crucible. There is a large population of them here in the wasteland, but we still have it relatively easy, because the majority of this level is open space, and the encounters with brown serpents in the tunnels are sparse. Caves of Circe is a different story, especially since that place is infested by them. And there is a fuck unless room to dodge their obscene splash damage. Haha, 2 of the dumb fuckers have managed to infite each other. I don't know if you can see it from this distance, but the group of brown serpents I was just taking shots at happened to be guarding a new and incredibly valuable item. This level will give us 2 new items, one of which is possibly the best consumable in the game, the other of which is much less useful and will likely only see use for the boss of the chapter. And let's hear it for the incredibly intelligent brown serpents who just took each other out for us. Darwinism at its absolute most efficient. Now, if there is any place in the chapter that might confuse the player, it is this series of tunnels, as navigating them can prove rather troublesome.
You fail to amuse me.
Enjoy your free damage, cocksucker, because I didn't know you were there. You have two choices of tunnel here. Both are full of Ifrit, so be aware of that. Oh no, you don't, fucker.
Tremble before me.
Denied. Better luck next time. After you kill the two HEXENs who are having a jerk in this next room, you might notice this door. This door confused the ever-living piss out of me on my first playthrough, and it turns out it opens from the other side. We cannot do a damn thing with it right now, so let's instead mash up all the HEXENs out here for shits and giggles. Missed one. You're fucked. Nothing will save you.
Destroy.
A sadist, Charles Clayworth, perish the thought. I'm not a cruel guy, I just enjoy watching the HEXENs fly in a random direction after the uppercut at the end. Fucking splash damage? Well, I see the genius brown serpents are once again fighting over who? Goodness gracious me, I told you the ground was pissed off. It just impaled that poor HEXEN. Well, if the ground wants to be salty, because of the level design it can do it anywhere I'm not currently working. I've got no intentions of meeting the business end of that shit.
Don't waste my time.
Pro tip for you, Mr. HEXEN. If you want to take free shots while I'm doing a fatality, you have to smack me, or smack the wall I'm standing next to. Fucking shut your mouth. I see the ground is still salty as fuck. Let's hope it plays nice while I take out that brown serpent on the ledge. Bam, motherfucker, it's your turn. And now back into the tunnels. It's easy to see where you have not yet been thanks to the glow the Ifrits provide. Other than the glow, it's dark as hell in here. Some of you might be questioning why I haven't used my torch.
You fail to amuse me.
I haven't used it because I'm specifically saving it for the Caves of Circe, where almost the entire level is darker than a Stephen King novel. Doesn't matter anyway, I found my goal. This wall is actually a rotating door. Watch out for the brown serpent waiting for you on the other side of the fucker. So we are back to 4 hits for serpentsoe. Both green and brown serpents have exactly 250 hit points. So the excuse, that brown serpent duffer isn't going to fly here. It's bugged, I say. Bug us level 5 perk. Speaking of levels, we are going to hit level 6. Well, we are. Nice try, you salty motherfucker. As I was saying, we are going to hit level 6, which is perfect since it will give us our new weapon attacks. Our axe and shield combo will not receive a new ability, but the crossbow and hammer will, and the hammers is particularly good. On the subject of the crossbow, there is one here, if you inexplicably missed the one way back in Guardian of Ice. It will give us 60 blue mana, so I don't mind if I do, motherfuckers. Now that we have some blue mana to work with, let's grab the crystal vials and the muck. Naturally, watch for stalker pricks. Only one in this muck. There is another pool of muck, but this one has no items. I saw you, shithead. Get up here and take your medicine. That has put us less than 1,000 score away from our next level. Luckily for us, we can collect said 1,000 score right over here, because there are some enemies guarding the way to our prize. Our prize being the horn key. 200 points to go, time to take some great drank. Come here, you little flaming fucker. Your British overlord demands you make him level.
Tremble before me.
A few things to cover now that we are level 6. First of all, our maximum health is now 150, but unfortunately that is as high as it will go, because the hit points awarded after that do not stick, which is very clearly a bug, because the perk for level 10 specifically awards you 20 hit points, which should at that point put you at 200 total. Sadly, we cannot heal ourselves past the 150 mark, so for all intensive purposes, that will be our health cap for the remainder of the Let's Play. We have reached the horn key, which was our main goal. So let's grab the fucker, since it will be needed both in Castle Darkmere as we have already seen, and also for a yet unencountered door in the Caves of Circe. Taking the key will alter this path, and once again we could simply dash across the entire puzzle were we so inclined to do so. Should you fall off and land in the lava, do not despair, for there is a very easy way out. You can simply ride this pillar up to safety. Who the hell knows who put that switch there, but it's nice of the game to assume that the player is terrible and can't pass a rather easy obstacle. Regardless, we are done up in this section, but we are not yet finished with the wastelands, because there is more to do out here, and also a place for us to use the swamp key we got in Castle Darkmere. Out of the way, Fritz. I need green mana so I can use the hammer's alternate attack some more. Perfect. We found some. I will now explain the alternate fire modes. The crossbow's alternate fire will fire 3 bolts at once, with some minor spread, making it a medieval shotgun of sorts. That function costs quite a lot of blue mana, using 21 in total, so it's not something you can run around spamming willy-nilly. The hammer's alternate, on the other hand, only costs 10 green mana, and for that price is incredibly potent. It will send out a shockwave of explosions in a straight line, and I'm going to try to hit all the remaining enemies with it. I'm making a note here. Huge success.
Don't waste my time.
The hammer alternate can even go up and down cliffs, because it's just that awesome. 4 armor points is also awesome, but as you can see here, this door will require the cave key to unlock. And since we have not yet been to the caves of Circe, we haven't got it, and that is not so awesome. Whatever, we will leave that shit for later. It's time for us to head to the next section, but not before I grab that obnoxious ass crystal vial that tried to troll the fuck out of me. Why hello there, Mr. Centaur. I know exactly where you came from.
This will please me.
And that's exactly where we are going. There was a huge blocked-off section of the wastelands which is now accessible to us, and it is there we will finally be able to make use of the swamp key we rescued from Castle Darkmere. If I said I knew what unlocked it, I would be full of shit, so this is simply an uneducated guess. But I think the trigger to open this section is the collection of the horn
You
key.
fail to amuse me.
Just guessing though, it might instead be tied to killing certain enemies, because that is a mechanic we have already seen in the game. We have reached the section in question, and as you can see from the grey walls, it looks far different from the rest of the wasteland. As I said earlier, this section is surprisingly expansive, even if it may not appear that way to begin with. Let's head up this path for some badly needed mana. At the end of this path is a new item, and this one is the extremely valuable one. And here it is. This is a crater of might. A crater, for the record, is a vase of sorts used in ancient Greece for mixing wine and water, but it takes the form of a goblet in HEXEN, because Lol John Romero sucks at ancient history. The Crater of Might is arguably the best consumable in the game, as using one will restore both your green and blue mana to the maximum 200. To get the best use out of the fucker, you want to be basically dry of both kinds with no mana pickups around, but that shit should go without saying. And now that I think about it, I made a mistake earlier in my commentary when I said there are 2 new items. There are in fact 3, but the one I forgot about is more for comedy's sake. You will see for yourself, motherfuckers. For now, let's continue clearing out the centaurs. Out of the way, motherfucker. That great rank is property of the British Empire. Killing the centaurs in this grey-walled section will cause quite a lot of wall to low, revealing a huge area, complete with a swamp and a temple. Why the fuck anybody would build a temple in the middle of a wasteland fucking beats me. That's the question better posed to the designers of Ocarina of Time, because they did the exact same shit with the Spirit Temple. Shout out to the Iron Knuckles for being such a fun enemy to fight. And the walls have come crashing down, revealing the swamp as promised. Be advised that there are some acid-spitting stalkers under the mud, so try not to take too many unnecessary hits here. Alternatively, you could take out the stalkers, but it's a risky proposition, because we all know how hard those bricks can smack you if you get caught off guard.
Don't waste my time.
Like that poor Ifrit who didn't even manage to fully spawn before we were on him like shit on Velcro. We are going to follow this tunnel to the end, taking out the Ifrits as we go. As with the previous tunnel, that led to the Crater of Might. This one has some much-needed mana for us, but the item at the end is not quite as useful as the crater. Here is the item in question. These are Boots of Speed. Boots of Speed are exactly what it says on the tin. They will double your movement velocity, as long as they are in effect. And while that sounds fantastic for speedrunners, they are generally located out of the way, making them not worth the trouble. In addition, if you are playing as the mage, they are disadvantageous, because while under their effect the mage is capable of damaging himself with his own fucking frost shards. Good game, John Romero. You created a way for people to make themselves your bitch. Now for the third and final item. This one is hidden at the end of this dark corridor, guarded by a lone brown serpent. Be careful in collecting this one, because right behind it is a very long drop. The item is called the Porcolator. The Porcolator's name sounds ridiculous enough, but its effect is even more so. Using the Porcolator will fire a cone of projectiles forward, and anything unfortunate enough to be hit by one will be transformed into a snorting and squealing little pig. A pig has a rather pathetic melee attack and only 30 hit points. Bosses are immune to its effect, but the player is not. And outside of crouching with the sore spot, being turned into a pig is the only way you can reduce your vertical height. I have the swamp key, so open the fuck up. I know you doers, and I know what you all want. You want me to use the Porcolator right the fuck now. Don't worry, I will use it before the episode is done. And that is a promise to you. Inside this room is a switch, and hitting this switch will lower another large section of wall, granting us access to the temple located in this section of the wasteland. You can see it just across the way. The temple is guarded by a horde of Edins and brown serpents, but we must go there, as within the temple is a switch that will solve 1/1,000,000th of the puzzle on the Shadow Wood. There are in fact 6 of those switches we must find before we can enter the inner hypostyle, and this will be our first of the lot. The distribution of the switches is perfectly even, with 2 in the wastelands, 2 in Darkmere, and 2 in the caves of Circe. So you have to give the level designers that. They certainly understand the concept of symmetry. Now, as for the temple, there is a set of stairs leading up to it on this side, but as I said, there is a horde of enemies here to protect the bitch, so keep a close eye on your remaining hit points as you lay waste to the area. That sounds incredibly hypocritical of me given what happened at the start of this video, but what the fuck ever. Everybody makes mistakes now and then, and even British overlords are not perfect. If we are lucky, we can spark some infighting between the brown serpents. It will make things far easier, but I'm not having much success, and I really need to have my great rank ready for consumption. Alright, I'm done fucking around downstairs. Bring it on, all you motherfucking poof the prick. I have a hammer, and I'm not shy about using the bitch to crack some heads open. 1 hit point remaining. Check out the massive skill. Only 1 hit point again. But I am on fire right now. And that just leaves the brown serpent on the other side of the pillars. Okay, the dumb fucker took himself out, and that's absolutely no skin off my nose. Alright, boys and girls, I have delayed long enough. Let's take this crater of might for the road, and it's time for us to use the Porcolator. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little... Ah, Jesus Christ. How much of a colossal prick can you be, Mr. Redkin? Well, this is embarrassing as fuck. Like some kind of bad dream. At least the pig died.
Pitiful.
Right, I feel somewhat vindicated. I missed some great drink over near the pillars, so let's grab it and head on over to the portal. This portal will not return us to the Shadow Wood. It will instead take us to Darkmere, which is just fine, because we want to go there next anyway. If you look behind the portal, you will find a combined mana as well as the previously mentioned puzzle switch. So let's hit the fucker. That is the first of 6, and the next is in Darkmere, so this portal looks like a great spot to end this video. This has been Charles Plays HEXEN, motherfuckers. Thanks for watching my stuff as always. Fucking pigs. I'm off to eat a bacon sandwich.